Welcome to Skai's Retail Media Thursdays with me, your host, David Seguera, Managing Director here at Skai. Cheers. In this series, we're going to be interviewing lots of retail media experts in bite-sized form so you can enjoy learning whilst having that first coffee of the day. And in true Media Thursday style, we'll be doing it over a pint in their local pub. Welcome to our first guest. It is Alice Anson from Nectar360. Welcome, Alice.
Thanks for having me.
Can you just give us an introduction and tell us a bit about your role?
Yeah, so I've been with Nectar360 for about 4 years now, and my role as digital media director is basically to look at all of our retail media that touches the internet, so be that our own sites, so our websites, or be that off-site through digital display, social media, or partnerships with kind of data clean rooms, for example. Nectar360 basically works within Sainsbury's business, so looking after Sainsbury's, Argos, Habitat and 2, and working with the brands to monetize our assets, but also looks after the loyalty program, which obviously fuels our first-party data.
Okay, so before we get going on the questions, where are we today in your local and what did you pick this pub?
So we're at the Clerkenwell, so just at the end of Leather Lane, which handily, at the other end is where Sainsbury's office is, so super good for me. And then this pub is actually a pub that I used to walk past when I first moved to London to get home and to for my first job, so something that's very familiar to me.
There you go, and lovely Christmas decorations already up, there you go.
I know, right.
There you go. So can you give us some background on Nectar360? How have you evolved, where have you come from, and also how does the relationship between Argos and Sainsbury's play out in practice?
Yeah, so Nectar360 has been in many guises over the years. So you may remember it as an AMIA company quite a few years ago called ITC. We were acquired by Sainsbury's around about 4.5 years ago, and we've now become what is Nectar360, so wholly owned part of the Sainsbury's group. Our evolution has always been on this shopper marketing journey, so understanding the customer, having that great wealth of data through our loyalty program that then gives us the empowerment to talk to our brands and talk to our customers in really unique ways and be able to kind of build products along the way. So Sainsbury's Insight platform is a huge one and it's been around for quite a while, and then obviously what we're working with you guys on around our e-commerce platform in partnership with Citrus Ad, and then moving into the ever-evolving retail media landscape as we go through the next few years.
Great. What's your peak of the week? What's the thing you've seen this week that's really got you excited when you look at the retail media landscape?
There's loads going on at the moment. I think you don't probably go a couple of days without getting a new article out there, but my peak of the week is probably actually the amazing work that we've done with Channel 4 recently. So being able to combine our data sets to create audiences that then are targeted through all 4 to relevant customers, and then close the loop on sales that happen within our stores and online. So that's definitely my peak of the week.
Excellent, thank you. So when did Nectar360 make their move into retail media and what really prompted it?
So for me, retail media is not a new concept. It's something that's always been around, right? It's just shopper marketing with data. And so we've always been a shopper marketing agency, but actually probably around 3.5 years ago, we saw that there was much more demand for the data side of things, much more demand for personalization, and making sure that we're being much more targeted from a customer perspective. So that's when we started to pivot our services, obviously using the wealth of the data that we had, but looking to understand, is it technology that we build? Is it technology that we partner with, and how we kind of bring everything together? And for me, that's really where kind of Citrus Ad and the relationship there started, because those guys being able to make the information really visible, super friendly UI, etc. was great. And then obviously that has evolved now where we have platforms like yourselves that bring everything together in a super simple way, that allows the brands to see exactly what data they're using and how that's returning on sales.
So what differentiates Nectar from the rest of the market?
So Nectar is it is the biggest coalition kind of loyalty program in the UK. So what I mean by that is you don't just earn points at Sainsbury's and Argos, you earn them at Esso, you earn them at eBay, you earn them at American Express. And that means that we have this huge kind of wealth of data we understand exactly where the customer is, what their life stages are, but also the other bits, the other kind of add-on pieces. So utilising that data is a bit more difficult from a DBO perspective, and we have to be really careful with it. But the fact that we have these, the kind of the wealth of the programme is immense for us, and that's what sets us aside, really.
The industry is predicting that off-site and in-store media is going to be kind of the next wave. How are you guys approaching that at Nectar?
So from an off-site perspective, we've actually built our own digital trading platform. So that's proprietary tech DSP that plugs into Meta, DV360 and YouTube. So through that platform, both managed service and self-service, you can activate against our audiences and build, run, optimize and measure your campaigns, which is a great kind of step forward. Through in-store media, we've probably on a bit of a longer journey than some of the other retailers out there around our digitisation of our stores. We've always had kind of big 6 sheets, either an entrance or kind of close to stores, but within that store environment, it's been something that's probably been a little bit slower than other retailers because it costs a lot of money, right? Particularly when you've got a big store network. So it's definitely something that we're looking into this year. So hoping to have a few trials, which obviously has been opened up by space as a result of HFSS and the changing store layouts. For me, the big question at the moment is how it all comes together and what that looks like, and not just from a technology perspective, because I think that's almost the easier part of the puzzle, but actually the attribution and where do you attribute the sales to when you've got this kind of full funnel kind of digital footprint that is targeting the same customer at multiple points in their journey.
So, Alice, you mentioned in your peak of the week about the partnership you mentioned with Channel 4. Could you tell us a bit more about that, the significance of it and what it really means for you as a business?
So I think Channel 4 for us is a really interesting, it's a huge move, right? I don't know many people that don't watch Channel 4 and the majority of the UK now are streaming more regularly. So our relationship with Channel 4 is around actually working with them and through Infosum, so our data clean room partner, to serve pre-built audiences through the system that then the All 4 sales team can go out, talk to brands about and activate, and then through the measurement kind of functionality that we have there, we're able to kind of close the loop. So we're able to say, okay, you were watching Married at First Sight maybe, and and you watched an advert for Coca-Cola, and then the next day you went into your local Sainsbury's and you bought a 4-pack of Coke, and that we can say is actually a direct result of you seeing maybe the Christmas can or the Christmas advert, for example. So that's really exciting for us. I think, Channel 4 have been an amazing partner throughout the whole process. They've wanted to close the gap from a retail data perspective, which they've not had. And I think it's really interesting that now the broadcasters are actually sitting up and recognising the importance of retail data within what was their already existing kind of, demographic data sets.
How do you see the partnership with Skai playing out? Like, what do you see the value between, the citrus, the Skai and the Nectar relationship for you guys?
So we talk quite a lot actually to retailers across the world about kind of where this is going. And one of the things that they say to me quite regularly, and something I really agree with, is actually the people that are the simplest to work with are the ones that are going to win. And when we kind of started the conversations about the relationship with Skai, the thing that came out kind of consistently was, this is really simple, right? This is simple from a brand and an agency perspective because we're showing up where they already encounter us. And for me, talking candidly, I was like, this is pound signs, right? Because they're already in this platform. They're going to see how we perform versus other people. And it's just going to make it a lot easier for everyone to work with. I think the other thing for me, thinking about how the Skai relationship will play out, is actually learning from you about the areas that we still have to develop in. So I know that when we've had demos looking at the dashboarding and pacing and stuff like that, that's not even in the Citrus platform right now. Yeah. So thinking about actually how do we start to stretch and grow each other and share learnings.
Final question on this. How important is first-party data to the market, to you, to your consumer, and to the marketers themselves?
I think it's vital, right? So hopefully, or at some point, cookies will be deprecated. Who knows? That keeps moving, never-ending feat. But that will mean that actually the first-party data sets become even more crucial there. I think also when you combine that with the situation we're going through at the moment in the UK, cost of living crisis, actually everyone's going to have to personally tighten their belt buckles, but so are the brands, right? And being able to show that actually your marketing dollars are going into something that is truly a customer or a customer you want to capture is really vital. So for us, it's absolutely key. When you talk about our consumers or our customers, again, it's really important to them. It's a currency now, and we see that more and more through kind of platforms like We Are 8, etc. And I think as guardians of first-party data, we always have to think about where does the customer get the value from, but actually how are we also giving back to that customer, be it through kind of incentives, so like Nectar prices, you give us your data and you get kind of special value from us. And that's going to become increasingly important as consumers become more aware of actually how their data is being used.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to do a bit of a quick fire. Pub or wine bar?
Wine bar.
Red or white wine?
Red.
Tequila or sambuca?
Tequila.
Really? G&T or pint of beer?
G&T.
Fair enough. And finally, what's your best hangover cure?
It's a bizarre one. I like a salad, a really big salad, because it's got the water in it, so it rehydrates you.
Fair enough. Mine's a tuna melt, which is actually as weird. So there you go. Thanks. Well, look, thank you for today, Alice. It's been really great having you on. And yeah, thanks for being our first Retail Media Thursday guest.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Stay tuned for more Retail Media Thursdays with Skai. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.